So I just got back from this incredible training. Shout out to my friend Nana for, and Courtney and Nicole for putting on a great mixed fit training and masterclass. And I have had this revelation about something that I think that I've been having for a while, but because I've lost more people in my life, let me say this correctly. God has brought an ice cream man here, but God has brought people out of my life that I've tried to hold on to. I've realized something. So let me just give you a quick example of this. Um, the Zumba scene can be a very competitive scene. I don't like the competition of Zumba. I personally don't participate in it. But there is an ego battle that I see going on. This is just an example. When I started Zumba years ago, this was not prevalent because there weren't all these different things. And I still love Zumba so much, but it's just that when something grows, naturally people want to be on top. And I was excluded from a certain community without explanation, just randomly. And at first I was like, oh, I miss being part of this community. And then I started to really examine who I am and the things that are dear to me and the people I want to have in my life. And going to the event today reminded me of why I was released from this community, because the person that I am now, this happened like a while ago, but the person that I am now would just doesn't need that community anymore, in the sense of I don't the people, a lot of people there, I don't associate myself with anymore in terms of the person that I'm trying to get to be, not just as a mom with my daughter like strapped to my chest here, she's taking a nap, but as someone who really doesn't want to be timid in my character, who doesn't want to have friendships just to have friendships, like who wants to follow God, who wants to, and I mean God's abundance, like in terms of my mentality and knowing who I am, having, good self-worth, self-esteem, not feeling like I have to compare myself or compete with other people. And I think that sometimes for me, and I'm wondering if this applies to you, we miss people and things that get taken from us. And it's interesting because I didn't really miss this community. I was just confused about why I was excluded, but no one gave me an explanation. But then I realized like I actually don't need to be part of that community, because some of the people that are there, and it's not bashing anybody, and I'm trying to word this properly without like sounding condescending, because I also don't mind people having their personalities. Let me just talk about myself. The ideal person that I want to be is someone, like I said, who's extremely, and I'm very confident as I am, but like someone who really, really like gets to this point where I walk and don't get bothered by things, and not a lot of things bother me. I don't have it in me to be part of communities where I can't be fully myself, where I see this atmosphere of people being insecure and fake and not talking about it and just being together for fun times. Like I don't have the energy for that anymore. And I think one of the things that God has revealed to me and shown me through time is that you're taken out of communities. Okay, let me start here. When your soul starts crying out for a better life, those requests get heard by God. But then we get upset because we get taken out of things that we were used to for a very long time. Just ate some pasta, so I'm making sure I don't have any in my teeth. And so when we get taken out of those communities, there sometimes isn't an explanation. And then it takes a while to look back. It takes a while, and then you look back and you're like, that's why I'm no longer in that community, because I don't associate with those people anymore, and because I'm trying to be somewhere different in my life. And that's where I am now. And I look back on certain things, like I use the Zumba as an example because it's something that I know a lot of people can relate to. But it's just not that. I've seen this in my, when I was leaving, Adventism. I've seen this in, groups I've been a part of in the past. And the people that are consistently in my life are always there because they see me for my character and they want to grow. And also our friendships are not just based on let's just talk about fun times, and like when something serious comes we don't talk about it. Like my close friends and we don't do that. We get into it, and that's why they're close friends, because we can talk about things that are close to us. And I think for myself, I've really started to accept being taken out of communities without explanation, because when I look back on like the people and the things, like I'm no longer that person I was when I was Adventist. I'm no longer that person. I still love God and I love Jesus, but I believe in a relationship over religion. I'm no longer someone who wants to be a part of like all these different events just to be part of events. I want to be part of events that mean something to me, with people that if I'm having a hard day, I can talk to them about. Maybe not everybody, but at least some of the people. And you have to be intentional about the communities that you're a part of. I no longer want to have friends in my life. All I do is party and party to deal with what's going on internally. Like I don't want to, I don't do that anymore. And there are things I have to figure out. Like I have to figure out, like for example, I have to figure out how to become more wealthy in my life. How to really, really, because I lost so much money when people died, and I just was in such grief that I let myself just stay there. And none of my friends that I had at the time had healthy, besides my closest friends. The funny thing is like sometimes you don't hang out with your closest friends all the time because they're busy and we're busy, but like those are people you can call and like time has passed and you don't have to like say anything to them. But I was hanging out with people that just wanted to go out and party and drink and do things and not talk about serious things. And I had to realize like that I was taken from a lot from that group. And it was nothing I did actually intentionally, but I realized like it's because my soul was praying for more, to be more centered, to be more balanced, to focus on my mental health, to focus on what matters to me, which is being a beloved son, a beloved daughter of God. And that's what I want for my life, meaning I want to know my worth and my value and not walk around timid and shy. And it's not a problem if that's where you are or anything, but I don't want to stay there. That's the thing. Like I don't want to stay in communities where people don't speak up for themselves and for others. I don't want to stay in communities where people don't deal with their emotional and intelligence, where it's like all I'm going to do is just use things to get by. And it's so interesting because I was on the bus today. It's not a judgment at all, but this is a social worker thing. The bus driver today was asking me, if the people on the bus who were on drugs like were throwing up. And I hope that you don't take this as a judgment of me saying like that I have a problem with people who are on drugs. Mostly it's just I had a problem with the coping mechanism. It reminded me of this thought. This is what triggered me, because I know that everyone's dealing with something, but it triggered me to think like I want people who deal with their stuff and don't use substances or things to not grow up. And not that we need to grow up to be like, oh, we're grown and we've gotten somewhere. But what I mean is to actually get rid of those things that hold us back from being closer to who we are, because we all want to have a childlike nature. But the thing about it is like to really be free and to grow out of these things that have kept us chained is getting us back to being childlike, which means dealing with our emotion, like learning to deal with our emotions, but except not as a child, but as an adult, learning to stop fearing what other people think, actually having people that are safe and close to you. Like when you're a child, you want to have people that are safe around you, but as an adult, like I don't want to just have people in my life anymore just for the sake of having people in my life. And I've had to let people go, and sometimes they don't get it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I am on a journey that I only get to do one time, this life once, that the people in my life that I have in my life, whether it's on social media or in person, needs to be people that I actually enjoy being around, that I grow with, and that keep me in check when I'm messing up or when I'm trying to get back on the path. Because they don't judge me. They just are like, let's get back on this path. And maybe it requires like a more harsh talk or an honest talk. I want to have people in my life that I can have those talks with too, not people that get offended when I say, maybe you should, if you ask me, because I'm not the kind of person who will come to you and tell you what's up unless I really think in the moment like it affects me and you're really messing up and like I'm worried about you. I'm messing up, but I'm worried about you. But if you come to me and ask me what's going on, I will tell you my opinion. But most people don't do that. I've realized like people don't ask like, what do you think about this? And then I tell them the truth and they're offended and they don't talk to me. It's like, well, then don't ask me. Don't just be part of communities just for the sake of being part of communities. Like you have to make decisions to literally be a person who, think about the person you want to be and work towards that person. And that means literally surrounding yourself with people that are working towards the same too. And it doesn't mean that we all have gotten there or that we're, there's a way to arrive, but like work on getting there and have people in your life that are working towards that too. And it's a process, but don't just have people in your life that, I know a lot of people have tons of money, but they also don't deal with their emotions and they're super, depressed and sad. And then they think that having money is the only thing, but don't also be super depressed and sad that you don't work towards having money. Like there has to be a balance. Have balanced people in your life that also want to grow up, but also want to keep this childlike nature of loving life and being free of the burdens of, adulthood, like fear and feeling insecure, like all those different things that you don't feel when you're a child and you're carefree, but also like as an adult. Anyways, I gotta go. I'm cooking dinner. Have a great day.